Are we live? I forgot how I did it last time. I think I'm on. We don't know. We'll see in just a minute. Uh, Hello out there. Anybody here? Anybody home? I know, impromptu. Like I always say, I might go live at any time. Who knows? Hey, Mark. Good to see you. Yeah, see who else gonna show up in here. I am home alone. Mama is at work. She'll be at work for another hour or two, so got dark outside, it's getting cold, and I've done what work I can do out there. The boat is hooked up, ready to go in the morning. I'm going to go try to catch some fish in the morning. Cousin Jay, hey buddy. Wish that was up there with you. I really do. Especially since it's deer season. I was supposed to be there this year, I know, but maybe next year. We'll see. Yeah, Mark, just me and you. I'm not going to go to the trestle tomorrow. Sarge is going to go with me. We're going to go target some strappers. Maybe some big old trout. I heard a rumor that they're in the river, so we're going to go get us some live shiners. Pardon me. We're going to get some shiners and try to catch us a couple. But yeah, we'll go. We will go to the trestles one day if you want to. We'll go out there. Hey Nick, everything down south is cold. Well, for us, it's cold. It was 34 this morning, heavy frost. Supposed to warm up to, well, it got up in the 60s today. Supposed to get into the 70s tomorrow. And then rain over the weekend and get cold again. Cold front after cold front after cold front. That's just the way it is here. Well, Jay, I hope you get one or two or three or whatever you're after. Man, I wish I could. I really, really wished I could be there. But maybe next year we'll be there. You know the deal. It's just tough to get away for right now. Fresh snow, Nick. Yeah, we don't see too much snow around here. Once every 7 or 8 years, we'll get a little dust. But I do know what snow looks like. I lived in Colorado at the base of Cheyenne Mountain. We could look out the kitchen window and see Cheyenne Mountain when I was stationed up there. And we got feet of snow up there. So I know what it is. I just hadn't seen any in a long time. And not likely to around here. Pardon me. Now, dang it, I ain't coughed all day, and now here we go. Start talking. Excuse me. Mark, you headed to the crappie hole. You going to up Escambia? Let me guess. Squirrel Lake. Quintet Lake up in there. Yeah, I know those spots too. I know where they at. I haven't been up there in a long time, but the Squirrel Lake is. I've done a lot of good crappie fishing in there. Nowadays, you got to know where they're at. There used to be signs up there, that said what lake was what. But the last time I was there, they were in pretty bad shape. Jay's taking the 44 mag. You got bears up there? Thank you, James. Thank you. Yeah, it looks good. It runs pretty good. Excuse me. The only problem with the boat I can see so far, I don't have enough weight in the back end. That little motor is it's too light. I need that heavy motor. I need that big 50. And after the first of the year, that's going to be a priority. If I have to drive 100 miles to get parts, to put that thing back together like it should be, that's what I'm going to do. But yeah, the 25 will move it. It'll move it just fine. Who knows? It may leave it like it is. But excuse me. Yeah, Mark. Yeah, Quintet. Yeah, Quintet Lake's a good. I went to Quintet Lake for. I think the first time I was, I don't know, 6, 7 years old with my grandfather. But I ain't been there in probably 20 years. But I know there's crappie there. Hey, Aaron, how you doing, buddy? Good. Doing really good. Hey, JW, doing good. Doing pretty good. Can't complain none. Nobody listening anyway, so I can't ask for nothing more than what I got. So, Aaron, man, what you talking about? If I put a Ford motor on that boat, it would go to the bottom. I know better than that. I won't even let a Ford pull my boat. Well, I don't know if we got a good fishing spot, maybe, but. All right, Nick, good to see you, man. Good to see you, brother. Glad you stopped by. Would run like a scalded dog. Well, I don't know about that. Hang on, we all whoopsie-turdy here. There we go. I don't think Ford makes a boat motor. Do they? I know Chrysler. Y'all remember the old Chrysler motors with the great big tall tops? Those things, I know where there's 2 or 3 of them in the bottom of the river. People got so irritated with them, they just dumped them off and paddled home. I don't know now. Some of the speedboats and that kind of thing, the inboards, they may make one for that. I don't know. They may. But if they do, they'll just sound like a Model T. Just put. Now, where is Big Brother Larry? He's supposed to be here. I told you I was going live at 5. Master Sergeant, where are you at? I told you I was going to be here. I know the last time I said I was going to be here, I came in and had a few minutes before I was supposed to be on, and I fell asleep. That was the deal on that. So, old style Johnson or Yamaha. Yep. Mine is a Johnson, an old Johnson 1968. Fires every time. It's just not big enough for what I need. Hey Rick, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Yeah, I did hear from you pretty recently. Good to see you. Now, Rick is one of a fellow that's been with me since almost, or probably the beginning of my channel. Good man, good guy. Thank you for being here, brother. Hey, Kimsey, good to see you, man. Yeah, I got your knives out this morning. All the knives that I showed in the last video are in the mail. Everything is on the way, and I've started the next batch today. Well, I did a lot of stuff today. Started a batch of knives. When I took the tent down from when J. Nell and Richard Jean was here, I didn't pack it and put it up properly. I did that today. Stretched it out, folded it up properly, put it back in the bag like it should be. Oh boy, what else did I do? I folded up some tarps. I took the old receiver off the boat, off the truck. Well, took the one that was on there off. Put the old receiver back on there that stands up about 6 inches higher. Put that on there, see if that'll help with the getting it off the trailer. I did all kinds of stuff. Even went to the big blue store I don't like to go to. I even went there and picked up a couple of things. But my Bigfoot switch for the trolling motor, I couldn't find one at the Walmart. I was not going to drive all the way into Pensacola for one. So I took that one apart, cleaned it up real good, cleaned up the contacts, put it all back together, and it seems to work. So we'll just go with that one. That's right, James. I put Master Sergeant in the back of the boat. Hey, Kyle. Well, thank you. We enjoyed that. We enjoyed that trip very much. Hopefully, I'll see you on the water sometime. Looks like we fished pretty much the same spots. I tend to stay in around Escambia Bay, Blackwater River. I'm a river fisherman mainly. I go to Pensacola Bay every now and again, but I grew up over there. But there's a lot of traffic over there, and I don't know the water as well as I would like to. Pardon me again. But I do have friends that fish over there a lot. I promise y'all, I ain't done this all day. Come in where the heat's set and the dry air. Well, maybe I'll live. We'll see. But anyway, I got friends over there that know that water real well. Man, sorry about that, y'all. Really good. Hey, Dwayne. Richard Gene, the fishing machine, in the house. We have YouTube royalty. And one of my favorite little brothers. Excuse me. I call him little brother because I'm older than him. Dang it. Richard, I'm going tomorrow morning. I'm going to hunt them stripers. I heard they're biting, but I'm going to go see for myself. Excuse me. Aaron, just how crazy is Richard Gene? Let's see. How much time do we have? Richard Gene is a good guy. He is very fun to be around. Good fisherman. Knows what he's doing. Excuse me. Now, if y'all hadn't watched all of his videos, you might not know he grew up in Florida, in Tampa Bay, around Tampa Bay area. And the fishing around that part of the country is basically the same as it is here. So he knows what to do when he's here. And good guy. Really good guy. Excuse me. I think I'm going to call Mama Sue in a couple of days and ask her if he can come down and play next week. If they're biting tomorrow. If I go tomorrow and find out they're biting like I hear they are, we'll see. Yeah, that's right, Kyle. Y'all, I'm sorry for all this coughing. Y'all bear with me. Yeah, I've caught fish around that trestle, Kyle, for, I don't know, 40 years. Even back when you might not remember, you might be too young, but it used to be a wooden trestle that went across there. And when they built the one that's there now, it took probably 2 or 3 years for the barnacles to really build up, for the fish to come back. But that's been a go-to spot for a long time. I mentioned before, my grandfather used to put my mother, my aunt, and my grandmother in the boat, and they would all go out there around the old trestle and catch sheephead, speckled trout, redfish, everything. Back then, there was no limits, no size, no nothing. Excuse me. God dang it. Yeah, Aaron. Yep, very fun. Very fun guy to be around. Not to brag on him, is he still there? He's still there, Richard G? Bama lost. Yeah, I saw that. And who they lose to? They lose to Auburn. I don't keep up with college football, but I do hear a lot of stuff about it. In this part of Florida, we are considered by a lot of people Lower Alabama, and the predominant fans around here are Alabama fans, and they will tell you. I just never got into it, but I mean, I don't watch games or anything like that, but I personally, if you want to go with football, I am a Florida Gator. Because my open heart surgery was all done in Gainesville at Shands Hospital. And the Gators down there took good care of me. And that's something I can't You know, I can't forget that. So the hospital there is excellent. I've never had, and I was down there, I think 4 or 5 times over about a 5-year period, and they treated me like gold every single time. So I am a Florida Gator. I'm a Florida Gator, and I'll say roll tide. How about that? So, let's see. Let me see. I forgot my glasses again. I gotta look real close at this. Hey, Mark, you on a break? You on the side of the road somewhere? I know you work hard. Y'all see Mark down here? Mark's a truck driver. I don't care what anybody says. I ain't never been a truck driver. I drove trucks, but that's a hard job. Putting up with traffic and people and all this and that and the other. Aaron, go Vols. Tennessee? Is that who you talking about? I know a little bit about football, but the college teams, but not a whole lot. All right, Richard Dean, I'll let you know tomorrow night. I'm going to go to Mr. Bits in the morning and get me some big shiners. Sarge will be with me, but I'm going to get me a couple of those big shiners, and we're going to see. I'm going to see if they're biting or not. Like I said, I've heard they are, but you hear all kind of stuff. You know how that goes. And while we're there, I'm going to go ahead and pick up a couple hundred crickets just in case brim poles are in the boat. I know where those are. I know where the bluegill are. So we might have to go catch some of those. But we're going to bring something that smells like a fish. We're going to bring it home. No, okay, Mark, you at home? That's cool. Maybe spend some time with Mama. All right, Aaron. Good to talk to you, man. I appreciate you being here. You go, y'all have a good time. Hey, Joseph. Yeah, I told you when you get home and get all settled in and all, send me an email. Let me know you're home. I'd like to meet you. Navarre from my house is 10 miles, I think, maybe 8-10 miles straight south, about 87 south. Not far from you. Yeah, I'd like to meet you. So just let me know when everything settles down, because I know moving like that is a major undertaking. We moved the last time was, goodness, 25 years ago. And I don't think we're over it yet, but a good deal, Richard. Good deal, Richard G. And I hope Derek was able to use some of that dolphin video. That was cool. That was very cool. Now I've seen dolphins before there in that spot we were at, but I've never seen that many. That was a special thing to see that many dolphins running by us. So that was really, really nice. Oh boy, more YouTube royalty. Everybody bow. Everybody bow. He drives a Ford. He likes steel chainsaws. It is the BC truck is in the house. Well, BC, I don't care what you drive. You're always welcome. So we'll just take that Ford thing and disregard that. But Good to see you. Good to see you, brother. Brad Dwayne says no. Forward parking is in the rear. Now, I'm going to tell you what BC is going to say. Forward parking is in the rear so they can push the Chevrolets out of the way. I guarantee you that's what he was thinking. Hey, Craig. Good to see you, man. Is he there? Now, BC, I didn't think you was above. I mean, I thought you was above pushing the Chevrolet with your hands. I know you'd take your truck and push it, but it might break now. Chase, hey Chase, how you doing, man? I ain't heard from you in a long time. You doing okay? Hope everything's okay up your way. Joseph, do you ever fish East River? Yes, I have not in years, but I used to fish East River all the time. Uh, as far as brim and bluegill, you can catch a few in there. Well, we used to catch a few in there, but that thing is so full of stump knockers. Them little stump knockers about that big. It's really hard to brim fish there. But this time of year, the speckled trout will come up in there just like they do in Blackwater and Yellow River. And there is a few catfish in there. It's not a lot of really good catfishing, but there's some in there. Now, bass fishing, if you would go up to the island, if you know what an island is, and go on the backside of the island, that's always been a good place to bass fish. But I have not been there in goodness, I don't know how many years. It's been 5 or 6 years since I've been there. I used to like to go there because it's close to the house. It's in a good landing and all that. You had your special Chevy pushing gloves on. You need to send me some of those, Brad. I need a pair of those. Well, I might need a pair of those. Yeah, Mount Recon. Yeah, yeah. It's not a bad river to fish if you, like I said, if you want to brim fish or bluegill fish. It's okay. You'll catch so many of them little stump knockers. But if you'll go out, look at your map and where the bridge is on 87. If you follow the river all the way down to the mouth of the bay, there's a lot of docks and stuff like that that dumps out in there, and that's pretty good fishing in there. Watch your water depth, depending on the size of your boat. It shallows up. It just goes like this. When you're deep shallow, there's a lot of bars in there, so you got to be careful about getting hung up on those bars. And like I said, I hadn't been there in so long, and because all that changes. There's floods and rain and weather and all that. So I don't even know, what's shallow and what's deep anymore. But you just have to be careful. Never run fast down through there. Excuse me. BC Truck, you got your little Honda car up to 43 miles an hour. Oh, 43 miles per gallon. I was impressed if it'd go 43 miles an hour. Mark doesn't run over BC. What's that old saying, Mark? Truck drivers take Priuses and them little cars and pick them out of the grill at the end of the day. Yep. Kayaks. A kayak is a good way to fish that place, especially around the mouth down in there. But just remember, there's some big gators down there too. And when you're in a kayak, you're here, the water's here, and the gator is right there. Remember that. I mean, if you're not used to being down here, there's some big gators down there, some real big ones. I don't kayak fish. One thing, because I don't have a kayak. And another thing, I don't have the stamina to do the paddling thing. Maybe if I had a foot one, maybe, but another thing, I don't like being that close to the water. I like to be in the boat above it. All right, Mark, thank you, buddy. I'll try my best. And of course, I'm going to take the camera and all that, so we'll see what happens. Now, I'll show you what happens, whether we catch something or we don't catch something. Just hope we do catch something. Because Master Sergeant, the colonel over at his house, she wants some fish, so we might better catch something. It's Dad Homer. Hey, man. Good to see you. If y'all didn't see that video where Stead Homer stopped by to see us last weekend, that was an absolutely great time. Now, I've known Stead Homer from YouTube for a bunch of years, several years. And they were this far south visiting, and they came by here. I just wish they could have stayed longer. Our women folks seemed to get it off real good. They liked each other. That's always a good thing. And we were so glad to have y'all. Just wish you could have stayed longer. So now you got to plan another trip. You got to come back. Chase, believe it or not, I've had the same thing happen to me. And I wound up going to the parts store and getting another one. Good luck. Maybe you'll find it. All right, Dwayne. Good to see you. Thank you for stopping by, and we'll see you next time. Yep, that's right, Stead Homer. It was short. It was too short. So one day, I don't know when, what year, or whatever, but we will be back in Ohio one of these days. And because I want to get back by and up to J. Nell's place. I've been invited to Uncle Buck's place, which is not far from your place, I don't think. And I know so many people up in there that I would love to go see. And just beautiful part of the country. I really like it up there in the summertime. The wintertime is maybe a little bit more than this Florida boy can handle. But in the summertime, it's just absolutely gorgeous. So we'll be there eventually, one of these days. Yep, that's right, Mark. Y'all got bluegill up there too. A quick story about bluegill. When I was stationed in Colorado, there's not as nearly as much fishing there as there is here, but there is a little bit. The reservoirs and stuff like that. And we went to a reservoir called Brush Hollow outside of Canyon City, Colorado. And I were catching big brim, big bluegill, bigger than my hand. I mean, good ones. And there's no limit, no laws, no nothing on them. And I was throwing them in the cooler. This guy walked past and he said, "What are you going to do with those?" And I said, "Well, I'm going to eat them." "Oh, that's trash. You can't eat that." And I said, "Well, come home with me and watch this." But yeah, there was a lot of nice ones up there because they wasn't. They're not targeted there. They're not, but that is a target fish here, and they're good. Just watch the video of me when I cooked them and ate them a couple weeks back. That's one of the best eating fish there is to me. All right, see, Uncle Buck lives an hour north of you. Yeah, he lives. My geography's not real good, but he lives way up in the north part of the state up there, where it gets really cold. Yeah, I don't know, Stadhomer. It was 34 degrees and heavy frost this morning. I think y'all brought the cold weather with you and left it with us. But it warmed up nicely today. It was in the 60s. Tomorrow it's supposed to be in the 70s. Our cold weather don't last a long time. Just a few days normally, and it'll warm back up. I thought about that, BC. After they left, I remember where he told me where they came through. And I thought to myself, they just drove right past BC's house. Yeah, Joseph, that was a very nice place to be stationed. That was the first time we'd ever seen snow. I mean, real snow when we were stationed out there. Hunting out there is just awesome. Now, lots changed since I was there, and I'm sure lots changed since your dad was there. But and dare I say it, not to get political, nobody start that, but the liberal Democrats got a hold of the state and got a hold of the fishing game and all that. And it's, from what I hear, is totally different than what it was when I was there. And to think we almost stayed there instead of coming home when I got out. But I'm glad we came home. Charles. Hey, Charles. How you doing, man? I think I mentioned to you before, my grandfather's name was Howell, too. That's pretty cool. My mother's father. No, BC can't get a break. When he lived in Louisiana, he lived close to a train track. You could hear a train in some of his videos. And now he's over in Texas and you can still hear a train. So. Tony, hey, buddy. Good to see you. How y'all doing up there? Yeah, that's right, Joseph. That air up there is thin. Let me tell you, it's thin. It took me, when I went there straight out of basic training, that was my first duty station. And I thought I was in good shape. And it took me 2 or 3 months to get used to the thin air. And I was even on a program. All of us people that came in from the Southland had never been up in elevation like that. They would only make us run like a half a mile in the mornings. for a couple of mornings, and 3/4 of a mile. You got to build yourself up to get used to that thin air. And the first time we came home on leave, we came back here. Excuse me. And it was summertime, 100 degrees, 100% humidity, and I about fell over. Yeah, it was rough. Excuse me. Yeah, BC, they'll tell you a lot of stuff, won't they? I wanted Alaska or Hawaii. And after I left North Alabama, I went to Colorado, which worked out okay. I liked it okay. I got to do some good hunting up there and some fishing, but a different kind of fishing than what we got here. Here we go again. Excuse me. Dang it. Tony Lawrence, Definiak Springs. I have been there many, many times. My mother's family is from Definiak, Freeport, Portland, all up in that area. My grandfather, when my grandmother died when I was a teenager, after several years, he remarried to a lady that lived in Definiak, and he moved down there. And I would go, especially during the summer, I'd go spend a week with him here and there. When I got old enough to drive, I would drive down there. And we would fish in Definiak Lake. We fished there a lot. Black River, or Black Creek. Big Aliquot, Little Aliquot. We'd fish there. But that's where a lot of my family's from my mother's side. I don't know any of them anymore, but good to see you. One of my best friends, Fred. If y'all remember, if y'all watch my videos, Fred and Nikki passed away just a couple months back. They're from Definiak. They live down there. I like it there too. See, Charles, we might be. The Howell line here is from North Florida, Northwest Florida. Was like I was just telling Tony. Anywhere from Tallahassee, a few of them are even from over toward Jacksonville, but Tallahassee all the way back into around Definiak, Freeport, Portland, Port St. Joe, all up in there. So we just might be cousins. I don't know that there's not that many people on that side of the family that I know anymore. Because my mom has been gone for, 19? She's been gone for 18 years. And she kept in touch with some of those folks, but they were all her cousins and all. I've got a few cousins left around from her side of the family, left around Pensacola area. But I hadn't talked to them in years and years and years. But very good chance. We need to look into that. Charles, my grandfather's name was Olin, Olin, Olin Howell. No middle name. And he grew up on what is now Eglin Air Force Base. And his father's name was Josar. And he was a constable of Walton County. And that's pretty much all I know of him. I know he had 5 brothers. I don't remember, let's see. Well, I remember one of his brothers was alive when I was growing up, was Andrew. Andrew Howell. I'd call him Ander. So he had a brother, Ivan. And I don't remember the rest of them. I knew Ander, Uncle Ander, because we used to go see him when I was a kid. Yeah, Tony, great fishing up there. Trout fishing. There's world-class trout streams up there. And the reservoirs was pretty good. With bass and oh, you found it already, just said 2 first cousins. No, second first cousins, 2 first cousins. That's pretty cool. So we're from the same line. That means you gotta like fish. Because growing up, I loved to go to my grandparents, my granny and papa's, because they had fish almost every day. Not as the main meal, but they had fish one night. Whatever was left over was on the table the next day. And the way they were, you did not waste anything. You ate it till it was gone. And the biggest thing and the biggest cool memory I have with my grandfather is I used to go fishing on the boat, and he had a boat lot on the water. He had a mullet boat with a big mullet net, trammel net on the back, which those you can't use those anymore. But I would go with him and my grandmother. I would go on the mullet boat. And I was a little feller, so as they pulled the net and threw the fish in, I'd pick the fish up and put them in the box, in the fish box. And one day, Pawpaw, I call him Pawpaw. It's like my grandkids call me Pawpaw. He pulled up in the yard and told my mom, he said, all right, ready to go fishing. And I ran out to the truck. And I said, where's Granny? And he said, Granny's not going, just me and you. You gonna help him pull the net. So, man, I got to pull the net. You talk about big man. Oh, boy, I was big man. I got to help Pawpaw pull the net. And I was probably 12, maybe 13 at that time. And ever until my grandmother died, that was just me and him. And we went once a week, and that's what he called grocery shopping, because that fish would last him a week. And come hunting season, same thing. He would go he'd go hunting, and whatever they killed, that went in the freezer for groceries. That's the way they lived back then. Joseph, Ohio, and Detroit. I never heard about any of our people up there, but I'm sure they branched out just like most families do. But I don't know a lot about that side of the family, not a whole lot. I don't even know where they're from. And I never really looked into it. I take it Mark is eating some bacon. You can't cook enough bacon around here to please me. Week or so back, y'all might have noticed, y'all might have seen when Mama was out of town. She worried about me feeding myself. There's plenty in the house to eat and this and that. And I said, yes. Just go on. I'll be okay. The first thing I did after she got gone, I went up to the Piggly Wiggly and I got me a pound of that big thick slice bacon with the rind still on it, and came back and cooked half of it. Ate it. The next morning I cooked the other half and ate that. I'm a bacon fan. All right, where'd everybody go? Master Sergeant, where are you? Larry, where are you? I told y'all I was going to be on. You said you'd be here. So, to both of y'all, my big brothers. Let's see, where's my other little brother? Justin, Reaper. You're supposed to be here too. You my little brother. He's just a kid. All right, everybody getting tired of me rambling? Charles, email me with any kind of information you've got about the family. That's pretty cool. I'd like to get up and talk with you about that. Brad, we can deal with some bacon. At our age, you don't want to see the other part. Trust me. Not on this end, anyway. And Mama is at work. She would frown at that comment, but I won't even tell her about it. Well, Mark's ate all the bacon. That's where it is. Mark ate it. You know them truck drivers are. They eat everything they can come up with. Yeah, Joseph, on my father's side, I am Scots, Irish, Cherokee, and very heavy on the Cherokee because the family married into the Cherokee and mixed around and all that. And I do have some paperwork on that, but that's on the Wallace side, on my dad's side. All right, did everybody leave? Or did it stop? You want some water? Yeah, I've heard of the Black Crows. Joseph, I sure have. But I don't know much about them, but I've heard of them. Back when we have a tribe here, the Florida tribe of Cherokee Indians, and I was a member. I'm still a member, but the tribe has pretty much disbanded because there's not many of us, and we get no state money or anything like that to run anything. So we just couldn't keep afloat too much. But I was studying different tribes and things back then, and I actually served as the vice chief for 2 years. I did my time and then passed on to somebody else. But that was one of the things that we did, was try to study other tribes and learn the history and all that. Really interesting stuff. But life gets in the way. Back then I was still working, and there's so many things to do. Stead Homer, are you still here? Okay. Mark got hollered at for eating all the bacon. Don't you make her mad. Don't do it. Because you will not win, my friend. I guarantee you. First name was Damn It Brad. Yep, I had to name something like that too. Especially when you break something. Excuse me. Portuguese and Pakistani. Yeah, I've never had one of those tests done. I just go by family record and lineage, and there's no telling what else is in there. I'm sure there's something else. Mark left a few slices. Out of 2 pounds of bacon, Mark left 2 or 3 slices. Y'all believe that? Yep, I think you get DNA out of the sand over there. All that sand you breathe. There we go again. Yeah, I get a feeling Mark's going to have to sleep in the truck anyway, whether he eats the bacon or not. She might just get a big stick and chase him out of the house. Say, you back already? Get out of here. All right, y'all. We've been on for almost an hour. So I'm going to go. I've got to finish up supper. Mama put some meat and onions in the crock pot, and it smells really, really good. So I got to go cook some rice to go with it. We Southern folk, we eat rice more than potatoes. I was told that one time that Northern people eat more potatoes than we do. We eat potatoes too, but I prefer rice myself. So we're going to have rice, meat, and onions and whatever else is in that crock pot. And then I'm going to go to bed. And I'm going to get up and go fishing. And I will show y'all what happens tomorrow. So I thank all of y'all so much for being here with me, talking with me. Okay, Stead Homer, we'll see you later. Joseph, we'll see you later. Mark, BC, I think everybody else is already gone. And I thank y'all for watching. Thank you for your support. And I will see y'all next time. Now, how do I turn this thing off? I'm getting good at this thing. You sure you want to end your stream?